What is going on, investors? Are back again. Time to talk about Costco Wholesale Corporation, better known as Costco, ticker symbol COST. This stock just reported earnings after the bell, not moving around a whole lot, not during the regular session and even the after hours. Part of that is due to Costco. Every month, they kind of give you updated monthly sales. So some of their results are telegraphed a little bit to the market. It's rare that you have this kind of big move on earnings day. I wouldn't say it's rare, but it is a rare exception with Costco. Comparable sales in the U.S. were up 14.6%. I would imagine in the upcoming quarter is probably going to be good again because Costco has done well in the lockdown environment. People are stocking up, buying more of things, even getting delivery and things like that from Costco as well. Likely has gone up. Look at e-commerce sales rose 86% during the quarter. So Costco's really taken this time to really beef up their online presence, and maybe that's something that will also keep growing in the future. We'll jump into the numbers here and then we'll jump over the stock chart. This is a really easy stock, in my opinion, to time your purchases of. And full disclosure, I do have just a small amount of Costco in my sons. I have two little sons that I buy stocks for, and I have Costco for them. So let's jump into the numbers here. Then again, we'll jump over the stock chart where this is an easy one to kind of time your buys into. So we've got a revenue here on the top line with Costco. We have the most recent quarter here, 12 weeks ended in November 22nd. And then we've got the previous period here of 12 weeks. We see net sales grew just really nicely. This is actually an acceleration of what you typically see in Costco on that top line. Went from 36 billion up to 42. Now it's a low margin business because they're basically selling you the goods in the store at very, very low margins. Take a look at merchandise cost. They spent 5 billion to make 42.3. So that's a very, very low margin. When you also factor in they've got employees and all that other stuff going on, that came in at $4.3 billion. So blended together, these two costs, you're getting pretty close to what they sell the merchandise for. We see that holds true also for the previous period as well. Their business model really revolves around these membership fees. So I would keep a close eye on Costco if they're happen to raise, what's the fee structure going to be next year? Are they going to keep it the same? Are they going to raise it? That's the kind of thing. Whenever they raise these membership fees, that's when more money starts flowing to the bottom line. We had 804 million in revenue in terms of membership fees in the previous period. That went up to 861 in the previous period. You see here from an operating income perspective, up to $1.43 billion. That's about 400 million over where we were in the previous period. Just phenomenal results. Coming down to the net income side, very comparable. We had 844 and then we ticked up to $1.1 billion in net income attributable to Costco. That leads to really strong earnings per share up at 262. I think they did like a $10 special dividend that was for anybody holding the shares. So that was nice. They also have a regular dividend as well. From the balance sheet perspective, everything just looks phenomenal here. We've got plenty of cash on the balance sheet. Add in short-term investment and you're well over $14 billion worth of cash. We're at about 13.2, 13.3 in the previous period. Now, from a debt perspective, they do have a little bit of a long-term debt here that's ticked up just a little bit, but everything else, total liabilities coming in about $45 billion up from the previous year, but everything looks solid in my opinion from the balance sheet. This is a company that's well capitalized when they have a lot of competition out there, likely on the smaller end grocer, the smaller end retail, the mom and pop type shop obviously is under massive amount of pressure and in a lot of cases having to force to be closed, whereas someone like Costco is allowed to be open because they are quote unquote deemed essential. Certainly a huge competitive advantage when you're a major corporation like Costco. Now, coming over the stock chart, this stock is incredibly easy to buy in my opinion because it goes on these consistent channels. We could go back even further, but this chart goes back to 2016. You see here we have these consistent kind of channels. This is a weekly view. That's why my lines kind of overlap because I probably drew these on a daily view. But you see here we have these upper channel, stock sells off. Upper channel, stock sells off. Channels up, sells off. Channels up, sells off a little bit. Channels up, I would wait for a pullback in this one at some point. When it happens, I don't know. Like, notice these last two pullbacks. This was 2018. You had to wait all the way into 2020. Not saying that's necessarily a great idea to wait that long if you want to acquire shares. I would just do it at a slow pace. I wouldn't necessarily unload your entire capital at a top of a channel in Costco because, again, it has proven that it will give you an opportunity to pull back. When Costco pulls back, that is when I think you should be aggressive in your buying of Costco. Any kind of pullback, again, this is a 50-day moving average here in green that my cursor is kind of floating on. Any pullback into this 50-day moving average range is a opportunity to buy. And if you get that opportunity, I would be more aggressive than you normally are. So for example, if you want $1,000 worth of Costco, I would do probably the whole 1,000 and maybe even free up a little more capital that you might have in other places. Deposit more, go without Starbucks or go without your Costco order for the month and buy even more. Any pullback into this range has just consistently been a spot to buy. I don't want to act like I'm a cheerleader of Costco. And again, past performance doesn't necessarily predict the future. But when you look at these operating results, this is what's great about understanding technical, but then also having a very firm grasp on the fundamentals. Just this business is really nice from the balance sheet perspective. They can survive a lot of things. A lot of bad things happened this year, but it only worked out better for Costco. They're driving more business to this e-commerce business, which could be maybe a higher margin business than what they're doing in the stores. Any pullback in this stock, in my opinion, is a buy. We're not there yet, but you never know. Keep your eye on it. Put it on your watch list. Maybe set some alerts and some levels where you want to buy this thing. And when that opportunity comes, I think you should take it. So that's Costco for you. We'll be back again soon with more videos. Love to hear what you think about Costco in the comments below. We'll be back again soon. Good luck with your investments.